Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. So yeah, in this video I'll be talking about my top 15 favourite movies from the year 2022. Yeah, what an amazing year for films. There was so many great fun movies to choose from. I kind of found this one again very difficult to sort of narrow down to 15. There's a couple of joint places on this list, just because it was that hard. And yeah, had a lot of fun with these. These again, all these movies are in accordance with IMDb. They all have 2022 against their name. I know some of these movies got released early 2023 over here in the UK, but for me, I choose to do it from IMDb. That's the rule I've set myself, so I have to go off there. And yeah, again, as always, these are just my opinions with these movies. Your list is going to be completely different, and so it should be. And yeah, before I get into the list, I just want to say I will be doing 2023, my top 15 favourite movies from last year, but I'll be doing that a little bit later on in the year, simply because there's some movies from 2023 on IMDb I haven't seen yet that I want to get around to seeing before putting my list together. I want to see Poor Things, I want to see The Iron Claw, and yeah, I just want to see those movies first before putting an informed list together. But yeah, that being said, back to 2022, gonna kick it off with number 15. So coming in at number 15 for me, we have The Banshees of Inisherin. Yeah, I really liked this movie. I had a fun time with it. It's a bit bleak. It sort of follows these two sort of pretty much lifelong friends, and all of a sudden one of them doesn't want to be friends anymore. He's insistent that, you know, his other friend not talk to him, doesn't want anything to do with him anymore, just out of the blue. What the hell's brought this on? And I just thought it was great. Brendan Gleeson was fantastic as this person who just didn't want to know his friend anymore, as kind of horrible and harsh as that was. And Colin Farrell's great trying to just piece together what's actually happening. And the two of them just bounce off each other fantastically in this movie. We pretty much don't see them at all as friends. It's pretty much off the bat, the movie starts, don't want to speak to you anymore. And yeah, it's just a really well done, amazing dialogue. Really had a good time with this one. So that is my number 15 pick, The Banshees of Inisherin. So coming in at number 14, we have Steven Spielberg's The Fabelmans. Yep, massive Spielberg fan. I think when he's at the top of his game, he can do no wrong. Although he isn't always at that level, in my opinion. But this one was a fun, enjoyable film. I really liked it. I enjoyed most of the characters in this film. Michelle Williams I wasn't a big fan of in this movie. She kind of irritated me with her character, but definitely one of Steven Spielberg's better movies of late. I enjoyed the cast, enjoyed this this tale of this young lad who was just inspired by movies and wanted to just make them all the time, and yeah, could relate to that. And yeah, it was just a really, really well thought out, well told story. You can definitely tell Spielberg got inspiration from his own life. Just even not hearing that, just watching the film, you can definitely tell that it was, you know, he's massive personal inspiration that he put into this. And yeah, I really love the ending as well. I love that cameo at the end of the film. And yeah, I just thought it was a really, really good effort from Spielberg. Really, really entertaining movie. So that is my number 14 pick, The Fabelmans. So coming in at number 13, we've got our first two joint movies. Couldn't decide between the two. Kind of realised I liked both of these movies equally. And the two horror films from 2022. And we have Smile and Barbarian. Yeah, I really, really enjoyed both of these films. Smile, I thought, was this creepy movie about this villain, this entity that is passed from person to person in the most horrific ways possible. It's actually quite scary, just some of the imagery in this movie with people smiling. It's genuinely creepy and got under my skin and just made me feel super, super uncomfortable. Really enjoyed the film in that aspect. Yeah, the ending was a little bit of a letdown, but nonetheless, I thought the execution was pretty solid. And Barbarian was a big surprise. Just thought the movie was going to go one direction and it completely flipped on its head and turned. And I just love the setting of this sort of B&B. It opens with two people who the company that they've gone through is kind of sort of double booked, and it's like, what are they going to do? And they discover this cellar, and it just looks creepy and yeah, really, really atmospheric. I loved the direction that the movie went in. It was just absolutely creepy. Really, really enjoyed it. So yeah, these two movies I just thought they were just two great horror entries into 2022 and just had a blast with them. So yeah, we have joint next, Smile and Barbarian. So coming up next at number 12, we have Jackass Forever. Yeah, this for me was one of the funniest movies of the year. It was a nice sort of little bit of a return to form for the Jackass crew. And yeah, the movie was just hysterical. The Jackass movies are they're fun to watch with big crowds because everyone's laughing, everyone's bawling, and everyone's just having a great time with these movies. They're just hysterical, and the atmosphere in the cinema is always great. It's always pumping. And Jackass Forever for me was no exception. You know exactly what you're going to get. It is pretty much what it says on the tin. It's just, yeah, these dumb people doing these dumb stunts, and it's just entertaining to boot. Really, really enjoyed it. They're not amazing films, obviously, in their execution, but what they're showing you is pretty funny. So, yeah, it was entertaining nonetheless. So, yeah, that is my next pick, Jackass Forever. So coming up next at number 11, just missing out on the top 10 spot, we have Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio. Yeah, this was, again, it came out the same year as another Pinocchio movie from Disney. I didn't enjoy that movie as much as I wanted to. This one was much better in my opinion. I thought it was better in its execution, better in its storytelling. It kind of changed the story up a little bit, and I thought the animation, the stop motion look to the movie was just absolutely beautiful to look at. It was fantastic. Really, really enjoyed it. I loved the naivety of Pinocchio in this movie. He was very naughty at times, and you kind of got why. But yeah, it was just a better film than that Disney one, and I enjoyed it for what it was with its animation. I just thought it was great. Like I said, it changed up the story a little bit. It brought something a little bit new and different to the table, and yeah, I just enjoyed it for what it was. So yeah, that is my next pick at number 11, Pinocchio. So cracking into the top 10 now, and coming in at 10th place, we have All Quiet on the Western Front. Yeah, this was a fantastic war film. Very, very much reminded me of Spielberg's Saving Private Ryan. Yeah, it just was absolutely fantastic. The big selling point for me about this film when I was watching it was that middle sequence of the movie. I just thought it was absolutely relentless and ruthless, unparalleled with showing you the harshness. It was just fantastic to look at, despite the horrible things that were happening. The movie just captured it so well. It was war. It was the heart of war that we were seeing, watching it, and it was just so well done. It puts you in the perspective of a German soldier, which a lot of movies don't really do about the Second World War, and kind of what he was going through from his point of view. And yeah, it was just really, really well done. I don't want to talk about the plot too much, but yeah, it was a different take that I think was needed for this movie. And yeah, I just enjoyed it. I thought it was a great war film. So coming up next, we have at number 10, All Quiet on the Western Front. So coming up next for me at number 9, we have Rian Johnson's Glass Onion, the follow-up to Knives Out. Yeah, this was, again, a fantastic murder mystery from Rian Johnson. Great cast, great set of characters in this movie. Great to see Daniel Craig come back. Sort of following Ed Norton's character, who was like this rich entrepreneur who invited his friends to this island. Something goes wrong and the mystery begins. And yeah, it was just an absolute delight. It's not your straight up whodunit. It doesn't really have this big reveal to it, but it's just interesting to see this movie unravel the way it does. And I just had a blast with it. Very, very colourful movie. Yeah, like I said, amazing cast. And yeah, it was just really, really well done. Bit of a breath of fresh air, this movie. So yeah, coming up at number 9, we have Glass Onion. So coming in at number 8 for me, we have Matt Reeves's The Batman. Hard act to follow, I think, definitely after the Nolan trilogy. I know that trilogy is sort of universally praised, loved. Yeah, so a hard act to follow cinematically, I think, but this movie pulled it off. It was a different take, it was a different Gotham, it was different characters, and it worked. It worked for me. It's a long movie, but I think it needs to be a long movie. I didn't really want to leave the Gotham that this movie had created. I absolutely loved it. Yeah, I thought Robert Pattinson, he's changed my opinion about him over the years. He's approached much better roles recently, and this being one of them as well. Yeah, I wanted to get on board with him as Batman, and I did. Paul Dano as the Riddler was fantastic. Colin Farrell as the Penguin, great. Yeah, it was just a really, really good, solid detective movie. First, reminded me very much of Seven and Zodiac, which is high praise in my opinion. And yeah, it was just a fantastic, grounded superhero movie that I could actually buy would actually happen. Where, well, a big bulk of this movie, definitely. But yeah, it was just... it was a fresh take, and yeah, I just really, really enjoyed it for what it was. So coming in at number 8, we have The Batman. So coming in at number 7 for me, we have, again, joint place. Really, really enjoyed both of these movies equally. I've definitely seen a lot of people say they either prefer one over the other. But yeah, next up we have X and Pearl. Yeah, Mia Goth in both of these movies, absolutely fantastic, blows it out of the water. I loved X. It was kind of like this 70s grindhouse, very much reminded me of Texas Chainsaw Massacre meets Boogie Nights. Following these group of people who are traveling to make this porn film, and yeah, you can tell straight away where they're staying. They're not going to be made welcome if their agenda is found out. And the horror just absolutely ensues. Pearl was just a stunning movie with an amazing colour palette. I absolutely loved it. Mia Goth's performance in it, particularly that end sequence, it just killed it. It was the final nail in the coffin for me of just wrapping up a really good film I enjoyed. So yeah, absolutely love these two horror movies, and I can't wait to see Maxine when that comes out. So yeah, coming up next at number 7, we have joint X and Pearl. So coming up next at number 6 for me, we have The Menu. Yeah, this movie was just a delectable delight. I had such a good time with this film. You know, definitely had some sort of social commentary about the super rich, how, you know, they go to this catered restaurant that is specifically designed for them. It's a once-in-a-lifetime experience. They go there, but it's not all as it seems. Anya Taylor-Joy killed it for me in this movie. This is the first of 2 movies I think that she's on my list, and she was amazing in this film. Absolutely fantastic. Ralph Fiennes as the head chef. Yeah, absolutely phenomenal. Killed it. Just brought this amazing presence to when he walks on screen. And yeah, it was just really, really interesting. I really loved it. The movie, I know, can frustrate people when people are saying, why don't these people just leave when everything goes wrong? But I'm kind of glad that they didn't. And I would see just for the movie's purpose, for script purposes, but yeah, I don't know. I just dug this movie. I don't know what it was about it. The performances in it were great. I love the look of it. I love like food preparation in movies as well. It just appeals to me. I don't know what it is. It just makes me hungry. But yeah, this movie really, really killed it for me, and I just really enjoyed it. Probably the best looking cheeseburger you'll ever see in a film as well. But yeah, really, really enjoyed this film. So coming up next at number 6, we have The Menu. So coming up next at number 5 for me, we have Damien Chazelle's Babylon. Amazing cast. Margot Robbie, Brad Pitt. Yeah, absolutely phenomenal film. This for me was this decade's version of The Wolf of Wall Street. Everything that goes on in this movie is just so over the top and unapologetic. It's just in your face, and it knows it's in your face, and it isn't budging for anything. And yeah, it was just great. It was over the top. It was fun. It was bombastic. Yeah, absolutely loved it. So many great scenes. The movie's pacing was absolutely brilliant. Each scene was just so fun. The snake bite scene, the scene where they're filming the shot and it gets too hot. All these noises are interrupting it and delaying it. It's just so funny. And the end of this movie was just a pure celebration of cinema. It made me want to watch movies like Jurassic Park, Terminator 2. It was just an injection of everything I love about going to watch movies. And I just really, really dug this film. I just thought it was exceptional. And yeah, but there were just 4 movies I enjoyed a lot more than this one. But yeah, a really, really good, solid film. It was a delight. It was a surprise. And I just really enjoyed it. So coming in at number 5, we have Babylon. So coming in at number 4 for me, just missing out on the podium places, we have RRR. Yeah. I'd seen a few Bollywood movies before, movies like Three Idiots and Lagan. Absolutely love them. Yeah. And this movie was very, very similar in terms of its presentation. I just loved it. It was everything that I wanted from this type of movie. Big set pieces, musical numbers, a really long, lengthy run time, which doesn't feel like it's overstaying its welcome. It was just all there for me. Yeah, sort of following this tale of these 2 brothers and the 2 sort of different paths that they're on. Everything about this movie was so entertaining, so bombastic, in your face. And I just absolutely loved it. The pacing of the movie was relentless. Not at one point did you feel the movie was letting up. It was just on from exciting scene to the next exciting scene over and over again, and you just didn't want it to end. It was overload, and I just absolutely loved it. It was gorgeous to look at. It was just a fantastic, fantastic movie. Colourful, bright, great characters, great story, and I just had a wonderful time with it. Very, very similar to Babylon, but a very different movie as well. So coming in at number 4, we have RRR. So coming up next at number 3, taking the bronze medal, we have the movie that actually won Best Picture this year, and I'm so glad that it did. Just what a different movie to win it. We have Everything Everywhere All at Once. Yeah, this movie was just absolutely insane, and I loved it from start to finish. Yeah, just really, really enjoyed it. Michelle Yeoh, Jamie Lee Curtis killed it for me in this movie. Their acting was just on point. Really, really loved them in this film. Jamie Lee Curtis was hysterical in this movie, particularly towards the end. It just follows this woman who's having a bit of mortgage trouble, owns this laundrette. It's trying to support her and her family, and batshit insanity ensues. And that's probably where I best leave talking about the plot, because it just has to be seen to be believed. It was, again, had amazing pacing. The visuals were just so creative. Everything about where this movie led down this path was just where are we going? What's going to happen next? It just constantly had you asking these questions, and I just absolutely loved it. It was, like I said, the creativity was just off the charts. The acting in it was absolutely amazing, and it was just a joy to watch. A really, really fun time. Not a movie I think that is for everyone, but for me, yeah, I definitely enjoyed it, and yeah, I just had a great time with this film. So, coming at number 3, we have Everything Everywhere All at Once. So coming in at number 2 for me, we have The Northman. Yeah, I really like this movie. Really enjoyed it. The plot was a lot more grounded for me. It was definitely, I think, Robert Eggers' best movie in terms of its accessibility from its audiences. I know he's quite a divisive filmmaker with movies like The Lighthouse and The Witch. But for me, this one definitely followed a more cohesive story that I could just get into. And it's very basic when you break the movie down. It's pretty much a revenge movie. Yeah, it was sort of this Viking who is pretty much trying to avenge his father. And the path we go on in this movie is just it was phenomenal. It was brutal. It was dirty. It was dank. It was cold. It made you feel all these things just by looking at it on screen. And it had some amazing characters. I won't get into the plot too much and talk about the ending, but that ending really caught me off guard. I didn't really see it or expect it, particularly with Nicole Kidman's character. And yeah, it was just an all-round great time. I was just hooked from start to finish. Really enjoyed this one. Just had a blast with it. And yeah, second favourite movie of 2022. So coming in at second place, we have The Northman. So that leaves us with one movie left. And for me, as soon as I left the cinema seeing this film, I knew this was going to be my number 1 favourite movie of 2022. Yeah, I think we all know what it is. Top Gun Maverick. Long overdue sequel to Top Gun. Now, in my opinion, the first movie is not a great movie. It's an passable, okay movie. This movie made me feel nostalgic for a movie I have absolutely no nostalgia for, and I don't even know how the hell that's possible. Yeah, it was just phenomenal. From the opening bars, watching that Paramount logo come up, I knew I was in for an amazing time. Yeah, just what a stellar movie. Obviously being delayed because of the events of COVID. Yeah, the movie, I think, sort of benefited from that. It was definitely worth the wait. The jet fighter sequences in this movie were nothing short of spectacular. The work gone into the film, I just appreciate so much. Even everything down to the times the pilots were able to fly because of where the sun was positioned. It was just absolutely insane, the level of detail that went into it. The plot's very basic, but it's very passable. It works for me fine. But yeah, it's just a joy to watch. Tom Cruise is just firing at all pistons in this movie. The new characters in it were great. The way it handled Val Kilmer's character, Iceman, I thought was handled so tastefully. It was just an experience that I was just so glad and appreciative to see on the big screen because of what it was doing and what it was executing. It was just phenomenal. Just an all-round amazing time. Yeah, you sort of gutted when you're not up in the air with these pilots again, because it's probably the closest you're ever going to get to being in that situation is this movie, because it just captures it so well. And I just thought it was a fantastic time. Real solid movie, great soundtrack. Yeah, superb acting. Absolutely loved it. Just thought it was amazing. Leaps and bounds better than the first movie, in my opinion. But without the first movie, we wouldn't have this one. And yeah, I just thought it was exceptional. Favourite movie of 2022, without a shadow of a doubt. Breathed completely new life into the cinema again. And yeah, 2022 is all the better for having this movie. So yeah, just a phenomenal film. So coming in at number 1 for me, without a shadow of a doubt, Top Gun Maverick. So yeah, those are all of my favourite 15 movies from the year 2022, guys. Gonna leave the video there and say thanks very much for watching. Stay safe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.